everyone, Catweazle here, welcome to the channel and welcome back to our playthrough of Eldritch Horror, Signs of Carcosa, Hastur, Turn 1. But before we get on with it, there's a couple of things from last time. It has been a couple of weeks while I've been away on my jollies, so let's just do a bit of a recap. One of the things that I missed in the introductory episode, and it's because I was rushing, I was going away and everything, and I made a bit of a balls up in the editing, and I missed a small segment out. That segment related to the King in Yellow Prelude card. If you just have a look at the bottom here, there's just a little bargain, one of these devil's bargains that they have, where it says each investigator may spend 1 sanity to gain 1 clue. Now, 2 of our investigators did indeed take that Faustian bargain, and they were Wendy Adams and Dexter Drake. So they both had 7 sanity, so they've both gone down to 6 sanity, and they've both got an extra clue, which means Wendy's got 2 clues and Dexter 1. Jenny and Michael didn't bother. They have very poor sanity and can't really afford to lose any. So that is the bit that I missed off the introductory episode last time. Also, we got some helpful advice in the comments on the introductory episode that I noticed while I was away, read in the comments. That was to have Wendy Adams as our first investigator. She does have an ability to get rid of conditions. So if you know, you get a Mythos card, or Hastur, for example, throws a blight out during a reckoning, then she will be able to get rid of it. It's still a bit of a poison chalice, for although she can get rid of non-deal conditions and impairment tokens and stuff like that. That's not the only thing you can get as lead investigator. You can get all sorts of stuff. You can lose sanity, you can lose health, all sorts can happen to you. But she is in a good place, particularly for blights. So we are going to keep her as first investigator, and hopefully she'll be able to get away with it. So there we go. That's why she is now our first player. Speaking of the investigators, let's just recap where everybody is. So we have Wendy, she's in Central Russia on space 16. After her, it will be Jenny Barnes, who's here in the Caribbean on space 8. After her, it will now be Michael McGlenn, who's here in London. And finally, we have Dexter Drake over here in Tokyo. So that's funky. Other stuff that happened, obviously we're on 11. That's the Doom track for Hastur. We did get a gate. We got a gate in Tunguska, which is here. Fortunately, that's a Green Omen gate, so we don't have to worry about that for a few turns. But it did promote a Leng spider, which, after being on the chilly plateau of Leng, no doubt finds Siberia very much to its liking. We've also got an expedition there. Now, normally, all that would be a real pain, because Tunguska's pretty difficult to get to, but Wendy Adams, she's right next door, so we got a bit lucky there, so that was cool. However, we didn't get lucky with the mystery. The first mystery we drew gave us a gate in Antarctica, which is a blue constellation gate, which is a pain, because blue constellations are coming up next if the Omen trap moves. And we got the spawn of Hastur, which is a real pig. It'll have 6 toughness, because we've got 4 investigators, and we can only take 1 health off it at a time. Otherwise, it'd have been brilliant because we've got Michael McGlenn, who's got a Tommy gun, but we can only take 1 off at a time. Although I said it would be brilliant because of his Tommy gun, if it wasn't 1 health at a time. Not really, because London, pretty much apart from Space 9 in Greenland and Space 13 in the Arctic, is as far away from Antarctica as anywhere else on the board, pretty much. It's about 6 or 7 moves to get to Antarctica from London, so it may be that we have to send Jenny and Dexter. They might have to go here and take on the spawn of Hastur, so we'll have to beef them up. Probably find something else for Michael to do, so perhaps he'll go and help Wendy. So we'll figure it out anyway as we go along. So, oh, we've got a couple of clues. We've got a clue in Antarctica and we've got a clue in Istanbul. And we may as well quickly go through what's in the reserve. We've got a secret page, very useful. King James's Bible, which is very useful. 45 Colt revolver, guess what? Very useful. And the 32 Colt pocket, which rounds off our very useful collection of assets. So let's look to pick some of those up. Right, anyway, that's enough witter. So let us get on with the action phase. And Wendy Adams will be our first investigator. And here we are with Wendy. So she's in space 16. The first thing she's going to do is she's actually going to pick up a train ticket. Because although she is quite close to Tunguska, so for a change it's quite easier for her to get there, it's not so easy to get out. So I'm getting the train ticket now while she's in a city that's connected to a railway, so hopefully we'll be able to get out of Tunguska quite quickly once we've finished there. So it's just a bit of prep, really. So she's now got a train ticket, and for a second action she is going to move into Tunguska. Dun, dun, dun. So that is the end of her actions. Next up will be Jenny Barnes, and she's in the Caribbean. And here we are with Jenny. And Jenny's in the Caribbean, where she's received the appalling news that her sister has been kidnapped by some horrific cult. Well, she's not standing for that. She's going to use her not inconsiderable wealth, influence and power to start kicking off big style against Hastur and his minions. So first thing she's going to do is she's going to move out of the Caribbean, and they're going to sail down to Buenos Aires. So there she is. Now she does have a ship ticket, but she's not going to use it at the moment. She's going to stay in Buenos Aires. For a second action, she's going to use her special action, which means she can choose herself or any other investigator who is on a city space to use an acquire assets action with +2 influence dice. So she's going to pick out Dexter Drake. So she knows Dexter Drake from after the war. He's a great friend. She knows that he's got an interest in the occult. So she rings him up. She tells him, you know, you can have anything that you want. I want you to help me find my sister. And of course Dexter, knowing the occult, he knows something's going on. He's only too happy to help. So Jenny's going to send across a bank draft or whatever it is, and Dexter is going to try and acquire some assets in Tokyo. So in order to do that, he's got 2 influence himself, and he gets 2 extra influence from Jenny. So that's 4 dice. And he gets 2 successes, which is good. So he's got 2 successes. But what he's also going to do is he's also going to take out the bank loan. So that's going to give him 4 successes. And with those 4 successes, he is going to take the secret page. Let's have a read of that. This is an item tome. Gain +1 law when resolving spell effects. When you gain this card from the deck or reserve, gain 1 spell. And he will gain 2 spells because his passive ability is to gain an extra spell. So he will get 2 spells for that. So that's the first thing he's taking. And the second thing he's taking is the King James Bible. So this also costs 2, and it's also a tome. You may re-roll 1 die when resolving a will test during a combat encounter, which is useful. And when you perform a rest action, recover 1 additional sanity. And that's the main thing we want this for, because that means he'll be able to get sanity back. He'll probably be losing sanity from casting spells and stuff. So be a good item for him to have. So he's going to take both of those, put these over here with his arcane assistant. So those are all spent. We've got 2 reserve spaces that we need to refill. So any of you that watched Arkham Horror or Eldritch Horror playthroughs by me know this. This is just my little, what's the word, it's like a card holder I made out of 5mm black foam core. So just drew round stuff and put it together. I don't have any plans or anything for it. It's just, like I say, it was just a bit of a box job. I just drew round everything, put a bit of a discard thing at the back. It's just like a box, really. One thing I did do later on was I put these little sort of indentations in the bottom. It just makes it easier to pull the cards out. So there we go. So here we go. Here's the asset deck. That's what we need. So put that there. Put this back. And what I'll do is, I believe I mentioned it in the introductory episode, but I will do a bit of shuffling for these sort of decks, just so you know it's a random draw. Normally you don't have to do this. You shuffle it at the start of the game and then you can just draw from then on. But as I say, just to prove it's a random draw, there's a cut. So the first thing we get is Curiosity Shop. Ooh, 4. So this must be pretty good. A service. When you gain this card, immediately gain 1 artifact, then discard this card. Brilliant. Put that there. Especially as we've got Jenny on the team. That's a good find. Second one is an Arcane Scroll, a Trinket, and a Tome. You may add 1 to the result of 1 die when resolving a lore test as part of a spell effect. Again, could be very useful for Dexter. It's also a trinket. I believe Wendy can pick up trinkets. So, pretty good, but probably has to be on a city space, and at present she's on a wilderness space. So that goes into reserve. We've got Curiosity Shop and the Arcane Scroll. Excellent. Right, the only other thing we've got to do is get these 2 spells for Dexter. So again, we'll do a bit of a shuffle to make sure it's a random draw. So there we go, and a cut. So first spell that he gets is Flesh Ward. Once per round, when an investigator would lose health, you may test lore. If you pass, prevent that investigator from losing up to 2 health, then flip this card. Use that at any time. So, pretty good. And the next one he gets is Plumb the Void. Test lore -1. If you pass, an investigator of your choice may move to any space, then flip this card. Ooh, that's pretty good. Does it as an action, but that means we could get our friend Michael McGlenn straight down to Antarctica. Woohoo! Top banana. Right, so those are the 2 spells. So we might get Michael straight down there. Or we may leave it. We may get him... That's how we'll get him down there, but we won't do it straight away, I don't think. I think we'll get him tooled up a bit first. Right, so that's very good. So even though that probably seems like it was Dexter's turn, it wasn't. That was the second action for Jenny. She sent some money across to Tokyo, which allowed Dexter to buy some stuff and get some spells. So excellent. Well done. Right, so that is the end of Jenny's actions. So next up it is Michael McGlenn up in London. And here we are with Michael in London. Righto, Michael McGlenn, London C, with the Tommy gun C. What's he going to do? Well, he's going to go proper Jimmy Cagney on us, and he's going to steal something, because it's London. It's full of cheeky Cockney chimney sweeps and, like, shoe shines and thieves. So, he's going to steal something. There's another... Not only is he going to steal something, originally he was going to steal the Colt Pocket, because I wanted the reroll. Even though he's got a Tommy gun and 4 strength, I thought the reroll would be pretty good. But because we got horrendously lucky when we pulled out the Curiosity Shop, he can actually take a service as well. So as well as items, he can take services, and this is a service. So he's going to steal something from the Curiosity Shop. namely one artifact. So forget the Colt Pocket. He's going past the Curiosity Shop. He's going to punch through the plate glass window and steal this. So he's used his special ability to steal that. He gets a wanted condition. Oh, while we're doing this, I'll just show you. Oh, I tell you what I forgot. I forgot the debt condition for... He took a bank loan, didn't he? Dexter took a bank loan, so we'll do the debt condition for Dexter first. So, cut and pull it off the back, and this is the one he's got, but we'll be able to get rid of that. That's not a problem. So, we've got rid of that. Now, Michael McGlenn, he gets a wanted condition because he's stolen something. Now, just to show, I did get a question on this, how I separate my condition deck, because if you put all these together, you just end up with one huge massive deck, and it's a real pain to go through. So I actually split them based on the sort of subheading here. So we've got a boon here, so all my blessings and righteousness things are in here. Same for banes, injuries, madness, you get the idea. So wanted is a pursuit condition, so these are my pursuit conditions, and it just saves a hell of a lot of time. So I think hunted and a few others are in here, so we'll do that, quick cut, and then we'll pull off the bottom till we get a wanted condition. And first one, so here is a wanted condition, so let's have a look at it. There he is, there's Michael McGlenn. He's driving away from the fuzz. He's trying to get away. You cannot perform acquire assets actions. Well, that's fine, because he just nicks stuff. Brilliant. When you perform a travel action, you may roll one die. On a 4, 5 or 6, discard this card. This is why I stole on his first action. Yeah? Because he is going to move. So he's got his wanted condition for the time being. So we'll put that there. So he's stolen this, he's got his wanted condition, and when you gain this card, immediately gain one artifact, then discard the card. So we'll discard the card, and we will get the artifact deck. So there we go. And let's flick that over, and what's he got? Ooh, a tattered cloak. God, how thematic is this? And there we go. There it is. The yellow sign. So he's got a tattered cloak. Brilliant. Right, item, magical. You may spend 1 fewer sanity to pay for an effect. If an effect would cause you to lose sanity, lose 1 fewer sanity instead. What a brilliant artifact this is against Hastur. Obviously, because it comes with the signs of Carcosa, it is specifically against Hastur. How lucky it is that you saw me do it, you saw me shuffle it, you saw me cut it. Michael McGlenn has a tattered cloak. Does seem a bit odd though, I must admit. I can't. He must absolutely steal anything, Michael McGlenn. He must have just been walking out of the shop and thought, look at that cloak on there, and just took it. So he has took that cloak. Brilliant. Right, we've discarded the Curiosity Shop card. For his second action, he's now going to go to Rome. The reason for that is you can improve your will here. So he's going to be doing a lot of fighting, and he hasn't got much sanity. He's got the help of the tattered cloak now, but let's improve his will a bit more if we can. So he's moved to Rome. That means he's done a travel action. That means we roll for his wanted condition. We want a 4, 5 or 6. So a 5. What a star. So we get rid of the wanted condition. Woohoo! That goes back with the pursuits. And he's no longer wanted. He's give the fuzz, the slip man. So brilliant. Okie dokie. Right, so very successful action phase for Michael. Let's move across to who's next. It is Dexter Drake, and he's over in Tokyo. And here we are with Dexter. First thing, we've got this deck condition. Now normally we'd have to spend an action, a local action on this, but not today, because Jenny Barnes has got a passive ability. Once per round, when you or another investigator gains a deck condition, that investigator can discard the condition. So he's going to discard it. I think what that is, that's Jenny. She's got her lawyers on the job, basically getting in touch with any banks or loan sharks and just saying, like, no, we'll settle that debt. So that's been settled, so no problems there. What's the first thing that Dexter is going to do? Oh, I'll tell you what we haven't done. Michael went on his crime spree. We haven't put the reserve back, have we? So let's get the asset deck out. So we need a replacement for the curiosity shop. And what's going to take its place is a book of spells. Ooh, item tome. When you gain this card from the deck or reserve, gain 2 spells and discard one of them. Gain +2 lore when resolving spell effects. That is excellent. That is excellent. Right. Ooh, right. We've got a decision now. Because what is Dexter going to do? Now, I was going to buy a ship ticket, and then he was going to go down to Sydney, because that gets him towards Antarctica. I'm just wondering now, say he was going to go, what he could do now is he could have a go, because he got rid of that debt condition, he could have a go at getting the book of spells. He needs 3 successes. He's only got 2 influence, but he'd only need 1 success, because then he could take another bank loan out. No, he can go for that. He can go for that in Sydney. Yeah, just getting too greedy. Forget about that. What he's going to do is he's going to get a ship ticket and prepare for travel. And then he's going to travel. He's going to go to Jakarta, here, and then he's going to spend that ship ticket immediately and go to Sydney. And the whole idea is both him and Jenny Barnes, who's in Buenos Aires, are now pretty much in striking distance of getting to Antarctica, and hopefully starting to put a bit of a hurting on the spawn of Hastur. Do need bit more gear, so we may stay in Buenos Aires and Sydney for a while trying to get stuff. So, but what with Jenny's acquire assets abilities, that shouldn't be a problem. Hopefully, if we get that book of spells, for example, he will manage to get a good combat spell. So he's ended up in Sydney. That is the end of his actions. So let's move straight on to the encounter phase. And here we are at the encounter phase with Wendy Adams. Now, normally what would happen is you would have to fight a monster on the space before you do anything. But Wendy, being the little scamp that she is, has got an elusive talent condition. So during the encounter phase, you may test observation. Her observation's 4. If you pass, you may choose an encounter as if there are no monsters on your space. So essentially, you avoid the monster. So, but we'll have to flip the card afterwards. So I'll put that out there to remind me. Right. So she's got 4 observation. She's also got 2 clues should we need them. And she gets 2 successes, so she didn't need a clue anyway. So we'll keep those successes. Just so we remember, take that away, and let's have a look at the back of the card. So I think it says flip, yeah, then flip this card. Elusive, resolve the effect based on your test result. So we got 2 plus. No one knows you were here, and no one knows the nature of your work. No additional effect. Woohoo! What was 0 to 1? Staying out of sight makes it nearly impossible to do your work. Roll 1 fewer die when resolving tests during the encounter phase this round. So you don't get seen, but you stay out of sight. So you still avoid the monster, I think, but anything that you do after that, any sort of like encounter or test that you've got to do, you will roll 1 fewer dice. But still pretty cool. Put that up here. So flip it back. So she's got 2 successes, so no problems. Right, perhaps I shouldn't have got rid of that because, let's put it back here, because she is now going to do the expedition. So let's pull out the expedition deck. Here we are with Tunguska on top, so that's the Tunguska card. Put that there. Next up is, Antarctica. Brilliant. So that moves to Antarctica. Move that all the way down here. That's where the expedition is. Put this deck back. And let's read what Wendy has to contend with. Whoop. Right, Tunguska. Focus. A small piece of the stone you are standing on crumbles away, revealing a hollowed out chamber beneath you. You look for a safe way to get inside. Observation. Fantastic. She's got 4 observation. Come on. Other 2 6s would be nice. 1 6 is good enough. So she's passed. That's cool. Let's move on to the success condition. You find a temple with scorched human remains. You try to resist the urge to run away. We've got to test will. Don't run away. Don't be running away. Right. A will is 3, I think. It is. We do have a couple of clues. But she gets a 5. Woo! Brilliant. Right, let's read the rest of it. If you pass, you uncover a long buried treasure. Gain 1 artifact. Yeah! There's the rest. If you fail, a bold... Oh no, that's a fail. If you fail, the symbols of Cthulhu compel you to run away in mad panic, blah blah blah. Right, so we're getting an artifact. Well, that's a downer. So, brilliant. Our second artifact of the round. Here we go. Whoop. Come on, we need another good artifact. Cut. And what do we get? Ooh, a grotesque statue. When you gain this card from the deck, gain 5 clues. Yes! Once per round, you may spend 1 clue to prevent all sanity loss from a single effect. Woohoo! So we've got 5 clues. Brilliant. She's got a grotesque statue. And let's get the clue bag. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 clues. Brilliant. Because clues are brilliant. Clues are also good, obviously, for advancing mysteries. And that could help us kill the spawn of Hastur as well. So I think she's now got 7 clues. That's not bad, is it? She has. She's got 7 clues. Brilliant stuff. And a grotesque statue. Excellent. So that is a good start. That is an excellent start in the encounter phase. Come on, we can do it. Right, next up is Jenny Barnes, and she's in Buenos Aires. And here we are with Jenny. So she's going to have a Buenos Aires encounter, which is the Green Americas deck. So let's give it a shuffle. Let's see if she can have a good encounter. Cut. Right. Buenos Aires. You sneak into the temple and overhear the rough croaking of deep ones chanting. You recognize familiar elements to the words they are intoning. Test law. Oh my god. I believe her law is 1. Reading books as a young debutante wasn't her thing, I don't think. No, it wasn't. We've got 1 die. Let's take that 5. Alright, come on. Yes! Another 5! Good old Jenny. She's not messing about looking for a sister. If you pass, gain 1 ritual spell. If you fail, it's nothing more than a horrific noise. Lose 1 sanity. Blah. Right, so a ritual spell. Woo! Excellent. We're cooking with gas. So let's get the spell deck. Again, shuffle as normal. Very quickly. Whoop. Even this is getting out of hand now. These I might have to split these into the. Well, you can't really, can you? Never mind. Stop wittering, Paul. Cut. There we go. And the first ritual spell that we get. That's a glamour. This is a ritual. Poison mist spell. Test law +1. So that's a massive amount of 2 law for her. If you pass, discard monsters from your space with a total toughness equal to or less than your test result. Pretty good. Be a pretty good spell to give to Dexter, I think. And seeing as they're both going to Antarctica, they should be able to trade. So, yeah. She gets a poison mist spell. Good-o. Take that back and put those back in there. A good encounter for Jenny. Let's see if Michael McGlenn in Rome can keep it going. Let's get up there. And here we are with Michael in Rome. Like a good Catholic boy, he's gone to Rome to seek penance for his, like, artifact stealing abilities. And we need the orange Europe deck. There we go, and a cut. And what's going on in Rome? A witch cult must have used this villa to conduct their rituals. They've left behind a number of small potions. You may drink one to improve one skill of your choice. If you improve a skill, you must resist the ill effects of the elixir. If you fail, gain a curse condition. Ooh. But it's a will test. He's got a will of 3. He does have a will of 3. Should he do it? What would he improve? He would improve will, actually. Yeah, he's going to improve. He's going to go for it because he's going to improve a skill and he's going to improve will. So his will is now 4, and with his newly improved will, he's going to save against will. We did want him to get his will better anyway because he's going to be doing a lot of fighting. We don't want him losing any more of his sanity than he has to because he hasn't got a lot. So he's now got 4 will, and we've got to roll 4 dice. Come on. No, it's failed. Damn it. What a time to roll crap. Fail dice, you go in the naughty corner. Let's get 4 more dice. Right, so he's got cursed pants, but at least he can have a go at trying to get rid of it. That's 4 dice, you've got to go for it really. You've got to expect at least 1 to be a success, haven't you? 4 dice. So I think it was worth going for it. So curse condition, so off the bottom, that's a blight. Cursed, so this is the one. Only 6s count as successes on your tests. If you gain another curse condition, flip this card instead. If you gain a blessed condition, discard this card instead. On a reckoning, we can roll one down. A 4, 5 or a 6 will discard it. Right, it's cursed. Damn. Damn it. But I still think it was worth the risk. I think it was worth, seeing as he was increasing his will, I think that was worth the risk. But you've let us down, Michael. It's a good job you nicked that cloak. Oh, and discard that there. Right, oh, so that's it for Michael. So he went to some horrible witch's house, drank something, and while his will's got better, he's cursed himself. Never drink potions with, like, drink me or stuff on. Don't you read Alice in Wonderland? Okay, let's get down to Sydney and to Dexter Drake. Good old Dexter, he's in Sydney. Righto. So, Far East deck, purple. We're going to have a Sydney encounter. Quick shuffle and a quick cut. Turn the right way round. A small demon known as Yarabai Yaha who tries to eat you. Oh right, it's called Yarama Yah who tries to eat you. You may spend one focus to stay calm and not run away. Well, we haven't got a focus. If you spend the focus, the beast swallows you whole, and when it spits you out later, your skin has turned red and you are stronger, improved strength. So basically I run away because I haven't got a focus and I don't improve strength. So, I think. Right, so, yes, what a weird card. Right. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to improve his strength. But at least nothing nasty happened. He was just able to run away from the demon. Okie dokie. So that is the end of his encounter phase. And that is the end of the whole of the encounter phase. So let's zoom out and get on with the laugh and chuckle phase that is Mythos. And here we are at the Mythos phase, the Mythos deck. Okay, let's get on with it. Oh, well, it isn't a rumour, but we have got a reckoning. So, first of all, we've got Omen movement. So, that is going to move to a blue constellation. We've got a blue constellation gate, which is a bit of a downer. So, that means we move Doom down to 10. Damn! Right, next up, Reckoning. Reckoning laughs. Right, so when we do the resolve the Reckoning, we've got to do it in order. So first of all, we've got monsters. So Spawn of Hastur hasn't got a Reckoning, and the Leng Spider hasn't got a Reckoning, so we're fine there. What else have we got? We've got the Ancient One. Hastur's got a Reckoning. Oh, has he got a Reckoning? So, but I think we'll get away with it. Investigators as a group lose sanity equal to the number of gates on the game board. So that's as a group. So there's 2. So we just have to pick either one investigator could lose 2 or 2 investigators could lose 1, yeah? Unless the lead investigator gains a blight condition. Now, this is why we've got Wendy Adams, because she's going to gain that blight condition. Because she's got a special ability. So, let's get the Banes. So we'll do that. We may as well go through the charade of it. So, first blight condition we come across. DL. There, this. Now normally she'd get this, but she's choosing not to take it because that's her special ability. Now, normally something like this would be considered, say, a cost. So if you didn't actually take the card, you haven't made the payment, so we'd have to lose 2 sanity off the group. But not Wendy. Wendy is an exception. Wendy counts as having gained this blight. She just sort of shrugs it off. So it goes back in. She doesn't gain it, but we do not have to pay the cost of the 2 sanity for the 2 gates that are on the board. So that's brilliant. So we got away with that one. So carry on with the reckoning. So we've done the ancient one. Mythos cards, we've got no outstanding mythos cards, that's fine. Possessions and conditions. Right, have we got any possessions that have a reckoning on or conditions? No, no, no. Oh, Michael McGlenn has. Just Michael McGlenn and his cursed condition. So let's read what it says. Roll 1 die. On a 4, 5 or 6, discard this card. Come on, Glenn. 4, 5 or 6 and you can get rid of that curse straight away. Come on, lad. A 4! Yes! Brilliant. So that's fantastic. He didn't have to roll 1 single cursed dice. Good lad. Right, so he's got rid of that. So that actually worked out in our favour for a change. We've done conditions, we've done possessions, and that's it for the reckoning now, I think. So what's next? Next we have to spawn a gate. Boo! So here's the gate stack, and we get the pyramids, another blue constellation. Damn it. Well, at least it's well, it could be worse. It could have been a red sunburst, couldn't it? And that's coming next. So got a pyramids gate. We're gonna have to start getting rid of these as well. Right, with a gate, monster. Pull a monster. Right. What's that one? Ooh, a cult. Oh, not a cultist. Remember when I couldn't pull these for love nor money? And obviously it's that on because and there's all biaky and all sorts of crap. Oh, right. Let's put this on here. Let's just consult Hastur again. See what happens. At least the reckoning has already gone. So, cultist, only 1 toughness. On a reckoning, the cultist summons a biaky monster ambushes an investigator on this space or an adjacent space. Well, it's at the pyramids. So if that did happen, it doesn't because obviously we've already done the reckoning for this turn. But if that had happened, say the cultist was already here, Michael McGlenn would have been attacked because Rome is adjacent to the pyramids. So that affects Rome, pyramids itself obviously, Istanbul, the heart of Africa and space 10, Dakar. So not too bad, not too bad. But, you know, let's get somebody in there and kill it, man. Right. So, could have done with not pulling a cultist, to be perfectly frank. But that's the gate done. Let's read the text. Oh, it's snowflakes. That's good. Once inside the lodge, your host invites you to follow him upstairs. Several members stare in astonishment. Outsiders are rarely granted such access. At the top of the stairs you are ushered into a library filled with rare and exotic tomes. Now, he says, how can we help you? Silver Twilight Aid and events. Each investigator may do one of the following. Yes! What a card! Gain 1 clue, gain 1 asset and gain 1 spell. Haha, guess what Dexter's going to do? This is good. This is about the best card ever. In the world ever. What a fantastic card. First player, well, she's already got 7 clues, has our friend Wendy Adams. So let's gain an asset. Here we go. Let's do a shuffle again. So make sure it's a random draw. I think if you gain an asset, we've got to gain it from in here. I don't think we can gain it from the reserve. I think it has to say you can gain it from the reserve. So, cut. What does she get? A psychoanalyst. Yeah, you find them in Tunguska all the time, don't you? Perhaps it was part of the expedition. You may re-roll one die when resolving a will test as part of a madness condition effect. When you perform a rest action, recover one additional sanity. Yes! Anything that gets us sanity back is brilliant. So she's got an ally. Is it an ally? Yeah. So that's cool. That's excellent. After her, it is Jenny Barnes. What's she going to pick? A clue, an asset, or a spell? Well, I said she's rubbish at spells, let's be honest. Perhaps take another asset rather than a clue. She hasn't got any clues. Should I take a clue? No, let's take an asset. Let us take an asset. Right, so there we go. Cut. Come on, something good. Ooh, a Lodge Disciple. 4! Yes! Ally. Gain +1 law, so that puts her up to 2 law. And +1... +1 influence. You may re-roll one die when resolving a law or influence test. Brilliant! So, she'll just be buying everything. She's going to be buying everything, man. A Lodge Disciple. Brilliant. So, that's her. And Michael McGlenn. So, no, he's not going to take a clue. He don't want a spell either. He's going to see if he can get a decent asset as well. So, once again, I will shuffle these, just so you know. It is a random draw. Plus the fact, random draws seem to be going extremely well for me. So, hee. Right, come on. Right, there we go. And a cut. Come on. Puzzle box 3. So this must be pretty good. Trinket. When you perform a rest action, you may attempt to open the puzzle box. Observation -2. His observation is 1. So he's going to get 1 dice because you can only ever roll 1. If you pass, discard this card and gain an artifact. Yes! So it'd be perhaps better for Wendy to get that, but it's okay that that Michael's got it. Brilliant. Right, last person is Dexter. Now, normally, all things considered, he'd get an asset as well, but he gains an extra spell when he gets a spell. So he's going to gain 1 spell and he's going to get 2. So hopefully we'll get something really beefy that'll help us against the spawn of Hastur, because we're going to have to go that way at some time. Right, and a cut. Right, our first spell is Blessings of Isis, a ritual. Test law -1. If you pass, choose an investigator on your space that does not have a blessed condition. To gain a blessed condition, then flip this card. Looks like he might be using that to bless himself. So, brilliant. And his next spell is Conjuration, a ritual, another action. Test law +1. If you pass, you may gain 1 item or trinket asset from the reserve with value equal to or less than your test result. Then flip this card. Oh, right. Not really anything combat orientated, but he does have 5 spells now. He's got 5 spells, baby. And out of those 5 spells, he hasn't got anything decent. I was hoping, I think, is it Wither that's a ritual? Because then we could take a... I think we could take a health off the spawn of Hastur in the action phase. Yeah? And then I think during the encounter phase, you could hit him again. So that's a way to get more health off him. But unfortunately, we didn't. I think it's Wither, I'm not sure. But it's Wither or Shriveling, something like that. You can actually sort of hit it during the action phase. But despite having pulled, how many? Bloody hell, we've pulled 6 spells. And not one of them's like a decent combat spell, I don't think. But that's just me moaning. We've had a brilliant, brilliant Mythos phase there. That's about the best thing. That, what a card that is. That has really helped us out. So, but the next 3 rounds has definitely got 2 rumours in it. So this was a yellow. There's only 1 yellow left, and there are 2 blue rumours. So don't think we will be as lucky next time. So discard that. And that is the end of the Mythos phase, and it was pretty good. In fact, the whole turn was pretty good. We've got, oh, well, I'll go through that in the turn review. I'll just go and upload this now. Anybody who's watched the turn and hasn't seen any of my Eldritch playthroughs before, that, to all intents and purposes now, is the end of the video. You can sort of mog off, do something much more interesting, prepare to watch the football match, whatever. I will be back in a few minutes, but it'll just be me rabbiting on about the turn and what happened, plus the fact while I'm uploading I may have noticed some errors, so I may come back and change some things, you know, like correct some stuff. And other than that, I will have a short chat around what we're going to do next turn. But as I say, to all intents and purposes, that's the end of the turn. So if you want to finish now and switch off, you won't miss anything, as I say, apart from perhaps a few corrections and a few of my thoughts on what I'm going to do next turn. For the rest of you that are going to stick it out, I will be back for what will appear for you but a few moments. See you in a bit. Hello everyone, welcome back to the turn review, and what a good turn it was. Yes, did fantastic there. Really helped out by that last Mythos card, which was a doozy. And just the sort of one to get right at the start of the actual game. So we did pretty well there. And, well, let's just go round by Investigator. First was Wendy Adams. Great suggestion about her going first. It really worked out for us. And she did brilliant. She went to Tunguska. She managed to avoid the Leng Spider. She did the expedition. She got herself found like a temple in a hollowed out stone where she was able to find a grotesque statue. She got 5 extra clues. She's now got 7. Got clues everywhere. It's just brilliant. She picked up her train ticket, but I think she'll be staying in Tunguska going forwards because we need to close a gate or 2. So I think she will close that gate. We do have obviously a bit of time because it's a green comet gate, but let's get them closed if we can. So, and she's there, so let's get that gate closed. So that is it for Wendy. I am conscious, having just done the upload, that it is quite a long episode, so I will rather scoot through this. Jenny did really well. She went to Buenos Aires. She didn't go any further. I wanted to be able to get some stuff and use her amazing, like, asset stripping sort of abilities that she's got, and it is very powerful. She handed away her ability to Dexter, so all she basically did was travel to Buenos Aires and make a few phone calls and telegraphs, and Dexter off that was able to get, with the help of a bank loan, get the secret page and the King James Bible, which was excellent. So she was basically setting it up for Dexter. She had a good encounter in Buenos Aires. She was able to get a spell. She got Poison Mist. She's not particularly good at law, and in fact I made a bit of a boo-boo looking back. I shouldn't have I mean, we got away with it. Fantastic. She's got a Poison Mist spell. But what I should have done a general city encounter there, because her law is 1, and because you get spells in Buenos Aires, you get more often than not, you're going to get a law test. So slight boo-boo, got away with it. I don't think she is going to move from Buenos Aires either. I think she's going to stay there next turn. We still need to tool up. If she's in a city, it means other people can use her secondary special action thing with the acquire assets. But I think when she does an encounter, she'll do a general encounter next time, rather than the Buenos Aires one. She'll just do a general city encounter. Michael McGlenn did brilliantly. Okay, he got cursed, but he got away with it. So he was in London and he stole He stole that service asset that we got, which was just brilliant. It was a really good one. It's one where you get an artifact, curiosity shop. So basically, he was passing a curiosity shop, broke in, stole a tattered cloak, and that is a really good artifact. It is a Signs of Carcosa artifact, and it helps immensely regarding sanity. So great person for it to steal it. Michael, he's got bad sanity, that will help him immensely, so that's brilliant. He so after stealing that, he then fled across the channel to Rome, and he was able to throw off the pursuit, so he got rid of his wanted condition, so that was really good. And once he was there, he found a villa where witches had been brewing potions. Took a potion, he managed to increase his will, that's what we wanted him to do in Rome, but he got cursed. But that didn't matter, because in the mythos phase there was a reckoning and he managed to get rid of it, so we got lucky again there. So that was really cool. He also got a puzzle box through the Silver Twilight Lodge, which will be helpful. Wendy, I forgot to mention, she got a psychoanalyst. Again, that's good for getting sanity back. And what did Jenny get? Jenny got a Lodge Disciple, which is really good. It improves her law, which is pretty pathetic, but it's now up to 2, but it also improves her influence, like she needed it improving. But again, that was really good. And that leaves Dexter. Oh, sorry, Michael, what's he going to do next turn? Well, I don't think he's going to stay in Rome. He may start heading off towards Tunguska. The only reason for that is to kill that Leng Spider. Or, no, actually, no, he won't. He'll go to the pyramids. He'll go to the pyramids, he'll kill that cultist, and he'll try and shut that pyramid's gate. That's what he's going to do. Yes, because it's a blue constellation gate, let's get rid of it. So, yeah, forget that. He's not going to Tunguska, he's going to the pyramids. He's going to kill the cultist, and he's going to try and shut that gate. Next up, Dexter Drake. What's he going to do? Well, he's in Sydney, but similar to Jenny, I don't think he's quite ready to go to Antarctica just yet, so I think he'll stay in Sydney. He'll stay in Sydney, perhaps acquire some assets using Jenny's ability, and we'll see what we can do. There's some good stuff there. That Colt Pocket's still there, which would help on a re-roll, and the Book of Spells. That Book of Spells is extremely interesting, but I'm wondering whether Jenny should take that herself. If she takes that herself, that does bump her law up to 3. And 3 law is pretty good. And then the Poison Mist spell comes into play, and she may actually be able to do a Buenos Aires encounter there. So, we'll see. We'll see what I feel like. Dexter, yes, he was in Tokyo. He already got a couple of spells thanks to Jenny. So he ended up with Plumb the Void, which is brilliant. We'll be able to move Michael around pretty much at will. So get him down to Antarctica. So that'll be good. After he's closed his gate at the pyramids, we can pretty much get him there straight away. Fleshward's always pretty good. Blessing of Isis. Let's get people blessed. And it got Conjuration. What we're missing really is a good combat spell, a really good combat spell. Poison Mist, it's okay for, you know, lower level monsters, not so good for your heavy hitters like the Leng Spider and the Spawn of Hastur. So let's hopefully we'll be able to get Wither or something like that. So we'll have to see. But I think he'll stay in Sydney. He'll try and improve his strength again. Get his strength up to 3, and then he'd be a pretty well-rounded character, Dexter. He's pretty cool. I quite like him. So let's get Dexter tooled up and beefed up a little, and that's what we'll look to do. As I say, I am aware that this is going to be about an hour-long episode, and probably a bit more if I carry on wittering like I am now. So those are just some very quick thoughts around what I'm going to do next turn. So that is it for turn 1 of Eldritch Horror and Hastur. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks very much for all the subscriptions. I did go over 800 subscriptions while I was away. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. It's so good that people are really enjoying the channel. Thank you. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you for all the well wishes. Thanks for all the support. And again, thank you to everybody who's bobbed across to Board Game Links to upvote the site. We've got 70 hearts. That's amazing. 90 hearts we've got. That's amazing. So, be nice to hit 100. I told you I wasn't bothered about the hearts, but now I've got to 90. Obviously, I wouldn't mind hitting 100. But you don't have to do that. I'm totally kidding. Yes, so fantastic. Thank you to all those who've upvoted the site at Board Game Links. So, as that is it for turn 1, I do hope that you will join me for turn 2. But until then, this is me, Catweazle, saying toodaloo.